Hello, I'm Janet Longmore, the founder and CEO of Digital Opportunity Trust. DOT is a movement of daring young social innovators who are creating opportunities and transforming their communities as innovators, leaders, and social entrepreneurs. In my work throughout the world, and especially in sub-Saharan Africa, where I've worked with over 4,000 young people, I have seen youth create transformational change, and they fill gaps in systems. And I've also seen that youth are driving an economy of social good. There is so much need in the world. We have a growing global population, massive inequality, pressing issues like climate change, and governments and systems are struggling to keep up or meet the needs of the current population. But here is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a movement of entrepreneurs and community leaders stepping up to solve problems and fill gaps in these systems that are not working for us. And right now, young people throughout Africa are not waiting for support or programs. They are connected, interested, the first to adopt new technology, and they are creating the solutions themselves. We all want to do things that matter, to fix the issues we see around us. And this generation of young people is not waiting. Empowered with knowledge and networks, they are a powerful and positive movement for social good. So that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. How is Africa's next generation of young people driving a solutions economy? And what is possible when millions of youth are supported to lead? I was recently inspired by a story I read about Sean Loney, an Indigenous entrepreneur from Manitoba. Sean saw firsthand how First Nations communities were spending enormous amounts of money just to heat their buildings, and the government wasn't stepping in to offer solutions. So Sean founded Aki Energy, a social enterprise which has become one of the biggest geothermal energy companies in Western Canada. By doing this, Sean is creating jobs for First Nations communities and creating more stable and sustainable energy options. Sean has helped coin this term, the solutions economy. The solutions economy is when someone entrepreneurial sees a social or a systemic problem, creates a solution, and has a positive impact in their community. Sean is an inspiring Canadian example of a social entrepreneur who is driving the solutions economy forward. And this is the kind of work that the young African leaders that I work with every day are doing. They are solving challenges in their communities because government support and intervention is not available or not effective. These are smart, connected young leaders who, in the absence of traditional jobs, are identifying a problem that they experience firsthand, creating a solution, creating real change, and creating the solutions economy. In Mombasa, Kenya, there's a young woman named Ajra Mohammed who experienced firsthand how girls and young women in her community lacked access to digital skills. She also saw that the hubs and code schools that were available weren't always accessible to young women. They were intimidating, expensive, and male-dominated, with hardly any women enrolled because they just weren't safe spaces. At the same time, the government, the private sector, NGOs are talking about the importance of women in tech and of raising the digital literacy of women in Kenya. But Ajra just wasn't seeing any programs that solved what she knew to be the problem: the need for safe, women-led, accessible spaces. So Ajra got together with 3 of her friends and created Swahili Box Ladies, the first technology incubator and training center for women on Kenya's coast. Because of Ajra, hundreds of young women have digital skills and are contributing to Kenya's tech sector. And she and her 3 friends now have this sustainable business that is succeeding where other interventions have failed. The gender digital divide is recognized as a challenge across sectors, but the most successful initiatives that I've seen are run by the young women themselves, who really get the challenges and understand how to meet the needs in their communities. There's Ivy Barley in Ghana, who founded Developers in Vogue, Carolyn Kandusi in Tanzania, who founded Ubuntu Hub, Segi Afrasa in Ethiopia, who founded the ENAT Association to train women entrepreneurs to use technology. These are very inspiring young women, and I encourage you to look them up. And there are hundreds more that I know of, and thousands more out there, all tackling the same issue. So you can really see the solutions economy taking shape in this movement of young women who are solving for this major challenge of women in tech and succeeding where systems have failed. Young people have deep insight rooted in the needs of their communities because they live the challenges every day. They understand local needs, they're early adopters of technology, they're innovators, and they're change makers by necessity and by nature. By 2040, there will be 460 million youth entering the workforce in Africa. And there was a recent survey of East African youth that found that almost 70% feel that they know what needs to be done to make their community better. So just imagine if 70% of that new workforce was involved in building a solutions economy and putting their ideas to work, filling the gaps they see and stepping in where systems are failing. Hundreds of millions of young people like Ajra and Ivy and Caroline creating their own solutions that their communities need. You can imagine the incredible possibility of that. And I know this sounds big, and it is. 460 million youth is a huge number, and it's only 22 years away. But it's already happening. Youth are creating a movement and driving the solutions economy. It's critical that we have faith in youth as leaders and change makers and shift the global mindset about how youth can contribute to their communities and economies. Just imagine what could be accomplished. A youth-led solutions economy, an economy of social good, is already happening. Africa's next generation is proving it. Thank you.